lawmakers to win public support to have the bill scrapped. Japan Innovation Party leader Yorihisa Matsuno says he did not plan to boycott the vote, but did so in a show of protest. He says his party drafted an alternative proposal that dealt with the governing bloc in a sincere manner, so he's frustrated with the way the bills were put to the vote. The Innovation Party plans to focus on the difference between the bills and his party's proposal. Japanese Communist Party leader Kazuo-shi says he's outraged and he wants to stop the government from putting the bill to the vote in the upper house. He also says his party is determined to have the bill scrapped through dire deliberations, collaboration with other opposition groups and the public. Secretary-General of the Party for Future Generations, Shinjyuku, says politicians have a responsibility to establish a national security system. He says his party voted for the bills because it thinks they will serve that purpose. Social Democratic Party Secretary-General Seiji Mataichi says he's enraged by the government's move. Discussions cannot change the unconstitutionality of the bills. His party will never allow them to be passed into law. Let's hear some reactions from overseas. U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Frank Rose has this to say.
We strongly support a robust Japan that can cooperate effectively with the United States across the full spectrum of security challenges we face.
Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying said in a statement that the bills raise suspicion that Japan is going to abandon its exclusively defensive policy and divert from the path of peaceful development the country has maintained for decades. A South Korean Foreign Ministry official, Yoo Chan-ho, says Seoul wants Japan to debate its defense-related policies with full transparency by upholding the spirit of its pacifist constitution and in a manner that contributes to regional peace and stability.
The national security legislation comprises 11 sets of laws and has two objectives. One is to ensure peace and security for Japan. The other is to ensure peace and security for the international community. As far as Japan's peace and security, the legislation would enable Japan to seamlessly deal with contingencies such as gray zone situations where there's an infringement of Japan's sovereign territory but not an armed attack, and allowing Japan's self-defense forces to provide logistical support to foreign militaries without geographical constraints, and dealing with an armed attack on another country that threatens Japan's existence. The legislation would enable Japan to exercise the right to collective self-defense when Japan's survival is threatened. In terms of peace and security of the international community, the permanent law would be devised allowing Japan's self-defense forces to be dispatched swiftly to provide logistical support.
With us is NHK's director, Takeshi Yamashita. And today, the national security bills passed the lower house. But how do you see the deliberations so far? Up until the last minute, neither side didn't seem to be in the right ballpark. The pillar of the bills is exercising the right to collective self-defense. The two sides differed over the fundamental point of whether using this the right is constitutional or not. So there was no way they could make concessions. Quite a few legislators on both camps point out that a wide consensus is needed for national security policies. There should be a super-partisan consensus. But as we look back at the debate in the lower house, the ruling and the opposition blocs did not have any common ground. 23 years ago, I covered the Diet when the opposition used delaying tactics against the bills to allow the self-defense forces to take part in UN peacekeeping operations. At the time, both the ruling LDP and the opposition Kuomintang and Democratic Socialist Party shared a common sense of problems that how SDF can contribute to the international community and
checking functions should be in place. So they were holding a meaningful exchange of words at the time. As a result, the bills were revised to include in advance approval by the Diet and freezing the activity involving the use of force, and three parties worked to pass the bills. But this time, the positions are too divided, and they're just talking without any common ground.
In terms of having such a wide difference, by acknowledging the collective right of self-defense, there are two ways of thinking: increasing deterrent force, on the other hand, greater risk of being involved in a war.
The ruling and the opposition blocs are completely against each other over this point. We cannot say which result is the answer. The ruling coalition says that the one nation singularly protect itself when security environment is changing, with its proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, threat of international terrorism, and cyber attacks. So they want to reinforce alliance with the United States, and stronger ties with the international community will discourage other nations from attacking Japan, and there will be stronger deterrence. The opposition camp has different views, even though each party has slightly different argument. They say use of collective self-defense, the right to collective self-defense will get Japan involved in America's war. Some say there is a concern that Japan get involved in fighting by expanding SDF activity to logistic support. Other opposition members say the peace will be maintained better if Japan sticks to defense-only policy and conventional interpretation of constitution and use force only when we are directly attacked.
Well, there are these differences, but no matter how much they are going to deliberate, will the situation not change? Or is it going to be that there will be some concession as a result of continuing the deliberation? Well, there are opinions that the bills should be deliberated over several sessions of Diet, and yet this time they're saying that the bills should be passed during the current session of Diet. Why is that? As we look up the deliberations, there were impressive remarks by Prime Minister Abe. He cited revision of the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty and PKO bills as examples when the public support was not sufficient at the time, but he said that he now believes that they are well understood and supported by the public. So Prime Minister appears to think that these bills are necessary to protect the Japanese people, and someday the Japanese people will understand his intention. Prime Minister Abe had his first cabinet 9 years ago and set up a conference to lead opinion for using the right to collective self-defense. And he had the conference discuss the possible legislation to this goal. He wants to make a legislation now when the ruling bloc holds majority in both chambers of the Diet. Also, there will not be a national election this year, but there will be an upper house election next summer. So if these bills won't pass now and were put off to an extraordinary session this autumn or next year's ordinary session, the election will be too close. So he wants to pass the controversial bills as far away from the election as possible. Now, the bills will be deliberated in the upper house next. What sort of debate are you expecting?
In the upper house, there will be a lot of discussion on whether the use of the right to collective self-defense will be constitutional or not. It is hoped that the discussion will make it easier for people to understand how security policies will change for the Japanese people. These bills are complex as they cover a wide range of activities of the self-defense forces.
So there are many situations assumed here.
That's right, there are two kinds of logistical support as well. So, one senior member of the ruling bloc suggested that the upper house discussion should be taken place according to themes. Sometimes you get confused when they're talking about the right to collective self-defense or if they're talking about the logistic support. And also in the upper house, as in the lower house, a lot of time is likely to be spent on whether the use of the right to collective self-defense is constitutional or not. An NHK poll shows that 2/3 of the respondents are not satisfied with the government's explanation that security bills don't violate the Constitution. Prime Minister Abe says that he will continue to carry out careful explanation in the upper house. The government can resort to having the lower house vote on the bills again after 60 days, but that doesn't mean that they can